Are you ready to grow brand awareness, leads, and authority online? Well, keep listening. I'm Ashley, host of the Market Your Service podcast. I'm sharing tried and true methods and emerging trends that will help your business level up. So let's get it. Okay, let's get into website optimization in today's episode. Today, we're just going to talk a little bit about website optimization or search engine optimization. We're also going to cover some of the things that every high converting website needs in order to be successful online. This is an adaptation of a longer workshop that I do in person, and I wanted to do a podcast version of it so that while you're driving or cooking or doing other things, you could learn a little bit about website optimization. So let's jump right in. Some of the things you'll learn in this episode is why SEO is important, what should be done on your site before hiring an SEO, and what every high converting website needs on it to be successful. Before we get into that, I want to thank you for listening this far. Thank you if you've listened to season 1 in the past of Market Your Service podcast. I'm Ashley. I'm the creative director and CEO of Digitally Grounded, classically trained artist and illustrator. I actually thought I'd be a painter, believe it or not. And here I am creating websites and helping people get found on search. I have over 15 years of industry experience. And the only reason I use that number is because my oldest child is 15. And I know that I've been doing it longer than they've been alive. So I just count every time my kid gets a year older, I'll change to over 16, 17, 18 years of experience and what have you. I specialize in creating websites and SEO optimization for professional services and nonprofit organizations. I am a proud mother of 2, and I absolutely love all my plant babies as well. I have named every single plant in my house. The only thing that does not have a name are the babies, because I propagate things all the time just to have more plants and to give them away and all that good stuff. And so they don't get names. But anyway, let's get into the website optimization part of this episode. So what is SEO? SEO, or search engine optimization, helps you to show up higher in search results for the things that you offer. If I'm looking for an accountant and I start searching for accountants, in most cases, I'm either going to ask for a referral from my network, so somebody that I know, like, and trust already, and say, hey, who's your accountant? Who could you recommend as an accountant? The other thing that I might do is go to Google and either do some research on the person that my friend just referred me to, or I'll go on there just to get general information about accountants and see who's out there and who's making waves and who's, speaking my language in terms of this person feels like somebody I want to be introduced to. So SEO is just the process of making changes to your website, making changes to your content strategy so that you're attracting more of your right fit clients. Why is that important for your business? Now, obviously, you want to attract more of your right fit clients. That's a given. There's also another layer that when I'm talking to potential clients, they don't necessarily realize the first time we talk, and that is building authority online. And I don't mean it in an influencer way. I'm referring to it in a technical way when you are thinking about something called domain authority. Domain authority is like your importance number. So they go from 0 to 100. And if you have 100 as your domain authority, then you are killing it. You are the best of the best. You're the cream of the crop. You're the top of the top. You know what I'm saying? And so that's where everybody wants to be. But if you have a 0 domain authority, then, it's just like, wah, wah, you're not really doing too much. And so we want to have a higher number for our domain authority, because that's going to help Google understand and realize, oh, this website has a lot of great valuable content. People are coming back to this website at a regular basis. There's content constantly being updated, valuable information that people are accessing. This is something worth putting higher up in the search results. This is going to give value to the querent. It's important because that sort of thing helps you to establish deep roots. It helps you to establish deep roots with SEO by this, in the same way that you would plant an acorn and allow it to have the resources and the sun and the water and nutrients from the soil that it needs to grow up into a huge oak tree. So some of the benefits of taking the time to really SEO optimize your site, or SEO your site, I should say, is you'll be able to cast a wider net. You'll have wider reach. You'll have more targeted content when it's all said and done. So doing research to find out what your clients want, what they're looking for, and being able to provide it to them even before they've met you is really going to help warm up that lead. And it's going to position you as an authority, not only technically with domain authority, but an authority as being a thought leader in your industry and being able to be that person that people want to connect with so they can learn from you, so they can work with you, so they can have the solution that you offer. Then you have things like measurable outcomes, more authority online from, like I said, a technical standpoint, but also that authority and thought leadership standpoint. And then selection over competitors, because if your competitors aren't doing this work and you're the only one locally who's doing it, everybody and their mother's going to Google to look for stuff nowadays. They're not like walking down the street looking at storefronts to find stuff. Nobody's doing that anymore. We're going straight to Google. We're looking at reviews. We're trying to get a wider understanding of a company before we engage with them. Even culture, which we can talk about in another episode, but culture is also a big thing. And so how do we cast a wider net and show more of who we are in an authentic way? Part of that process includes SEO. So yeah, the longevity of your web presence is dependent on making sure that you've established a solid foundation, a solid authority. So what should you do first? First, you should review your site's data and get a baseline of where you are now. Create a plan, create a strategy to get you where you want to go with your goals. And then find out what your clients are looking for. Always have open lines of communication with your clients and potential clients, past, present, future. Stay connected with them, give them more of what they want, be consistently valuable to them, and be valuable without being freaking sleazy. We don't want to be pitching sales every 5 minutes. We're saying something, buy this thing, buy this thing. We don't have to do that all the time. I don't think we need to do that all the time. That is my opinion. But if you can be consistent and consistently give value, usually that's the way to go. People are going to really be warmed up to that, especially if they can feel that you're being authentic. So if you can do all that yourself, you might be thinking, why the heck do you want to work with an SEO partner? I can tell you why. So if you're working with an SEO partner, first off, a lot of y'all who listen to this podcast have been in business for a while. This ain't your first rodeo. You know how important it is to hire the right people to do the job right the first time so you don't end up paying 3 different people to do a job. I'm going to take a little side note and say that if you find yourself in that position where you've hired 3 different people to do a job, you just become more of a red flag, because each person, if you're that type of person that's like, we hired this company or we hired this person and they did a terrible job. And then we hired this person and they did a terrible job. And then we hired this person and we did a terrible job. And now we're here to you because we think you're going to do a great job. A lot of people, and all of you listening are probably service providers, and you know what this is like. If a client comes to you and says that, you're going to be like, holy shit, red flag. We don't want to do that to our people. And so as business owners, we want to make sure that we're working with the right folks who know what they're doing and can be authentic, open, transparent, and honest with us about the whole process, and also deliver what they need to deliver. Working with an SEO partner like Digitally Grounded, for example, let me toot my own horn there for a minute. But we'll do a site review and keyword research to kind of get a baseline. We'll consult on the copy optimization based on that research, the website design based on that research, from a UX perspective, from a brand alignment perspective, and then move on into suggestions for development if needed. For SEO related tasks, there's some refinements that need to be made on the website itself just for performance. And so we'll discuss that with you, and then also on-page and off-page optimization. So on-page is like all the things that need to be done on the website to make it play nice with these search engines. And then off-page is all the things that happen off the website that drive traffic to the website. So let's say, you were on a podcast or you wrote an article for somebody else and they linked back to your website. Those are great examples of off-page optimization. And actually that's called backlink. You can also obtain those. And then just refine and repeat. This is something where, as I had mentioned, I think I'd mentioned it before, SEO is a marathon. It's not a sprint. When you are setting this foundation, we want to make sure that you're constantly looking at the data to make sure that what you're doing is working before you do it for 6 months and you're like, I did this for 6 months and not a single thing changed. Okay, you should have some change in 6 months. There should be some trend. If you're doing monthly reporting with your SEO partner, you will know if things are trending in the right direction way sooner than 6 months. You should see changes on a monthly basis. So we just talked about the benefits of growing your business with an SEO partner, and we talked about this process being a marathon and not a sprint. The other thing that we can do is fertilize the funnel with SEM, or search engine marketing. So I like to compare search engine marketing to a water faucet. So when we turn that faucet on at full speed, that water is rushing out all the way. If we turn it back a little bit, we can turn it down to a trickle, and we can control the flow of water by controlling how much we open up that faucet. For SEM, the faucet that you're turning is basically your ad budget. So when you're doing paid ads, the more money you put in an ad, the more activity you're probably going to get. You turn it back, you're going to get less. Now, there is a caveat to that. You have to make sure that your ad is aligned and it's attracting the right people. Please do testing. If you're working with a partner, they will, an agency partner or something like that, they will definitely be running tests for you before they slam your whole budget on one ad. Like, they're going to be running multiple creatives and doing testing to make sure that the highest performing creatives are the ones that are getting run. And so this is one of those things where, if you've got money to set on fire, then go ahead and try it. Be ready to lose the first couple $100 or something like that and just do some tests. If you're really not sure, it is really extremely important to just hire a professional to make sure that you're making the most of every ad dollar that you put into your budget. All right. And now finally, now that we've talked about SEO and SEM, we need to know what every high converting site needs on it to be successful. And I'm going to go over just a few of those things. First thing is targeted copy. So making sure that your message is on point, making sure that you are speaking to the person that you want to attract. You're not trying to speak to everybody. You're talking to that amazing right fit client, the one that you love to work with, the one that you have dreams about. And you're like, oh, they're so amazing. I wish I could work with them all the time. I wish I could clone them. That is who you're talking to. The next thing is a UX friendly design for your site. So making sure that your website is easy to navigate. It loads the way it's supposed to load. The information that people are looking for is easy for them to find. And the one thing that drives me absolutely nuts, please don't put pale pink on a white background or white on a pale pink background. We want to make sure that our site is accessible. Okay, we want to make sure it's accessible for everyone. Contrast is a huge deal. Now, I know you're listening to a podcast right now and you can't see me unless you're looking at my little cover image, but I wear glasses. I pay good money to see people, okay? Contrast is definitely a thing. So, if you're also a fellow glasses wearer and you're looking for somebody to help you with your website or your SEO and you're concerned about contrast, well, guess what? I'm your girl, because I don't do well with low contrast personally. So I'm always looking out for that. And that's something that stands out all the time. And then finally, consistent marketing strategy. So being consistent and having an overall strategy, whether you work with your partner that's, an overarching marketing company or somebody who's just doing the website or there still needs to be some overarching umbrella of strategy that is charting a path from where you are now to where you want to be. You can't just be trying things willy-nilly without any sort of data supporting, backing up anything that you're doing, because you're going to waste your time, spin your reels, and then you're going to say, this didn't work for me. And sometimes when we get into that sort of thing, it's like, well, this didn't work for you because there wasn't any plan. We were just kind of throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what would stick. And so that is, I think, the most important thing is having that consistent marketing strategy so that you can be successful and you can change the trajectory if you need to. So think about it. The marketing strategy is like a GPS, right? If there's traffic, your GPS is going to reroute you around the traffic, right? So your marketing strategy may not be set in stone, but it is going to get you to your destination. As you encounter different things, you're going to have to work around them. And so having that in place is going to help you with the overarching success of the campaign, of the marketing, of the business, and how all that flows goes into the other channels of your business. So I hope that you enjoyed this episode. I hope that it's given you some questions to think about, some things to think about how you can market your service better. And if you would like to connect with me, feel free to not only subscribe to this podcast, but also check us out on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram at Digitally Grounded All Around. And be sure to look at the video version of this on YouTube. There'll also be links to websites, show notes, all that good stuff. So hopefully we'll see you soon in the next episode. And until then, be well.